According to some, it's about protecting civilians.
And our resolve is clear. The people of Libya must be protected.
Others say it's about oil.
The only reason they're interested with Libya is about the oil. You'd think we'd be in Iraq if the major export there was broccoli.
But some are convinced intervention in Libya is all about currency, specifically Gaddafi's plan to introduce the gold dinar, a single African currency made from gold, a true sharing of the wealth.
It's one of these things that you have to plan almost in secret, because as soon as you say you're going to change over from the dollar to something else, you're going to be targeted. There were two conferences on this, one in 96 and another one in the year 2000, called the World Mataba Conference, organized by Gaddafi. And everybody was interested. I think most countries in Africa were keen.
Gaddafi didn't give up. In the months leading up to the military intervention, he called on African and Muslim nations to join together to create this new currency that would rival the dollar and euro. They would sell oil and other resources around the world only for gold dinars. It's an idea that would shift the economic balance of the world. Countries' wealth would depend on how much gold they have, not how many dollars they trade. And Libya has 144 tons of gold. The UK has double that, but 10 times the population.
If Gaddafi had an intent to try to reprice his oil or whatever else the country was selling in the global markets and accept something else as a currency, or maybe launch a gold dinar currency, any move such as that would certainly not be welcomed by the power elite today who are responsible for controlling the world's central banks. So yes, that would certainly be something that would cause his immediate dismissal and the need for other reasons to be brought forth for removing him from power.
It's happened before. In 2000, Saddam Hussein announced Iraqi oil would be traded in euros, not dollars. Sanctions and an invasion followed. Some say because the Americans were desperate to prevent OPEC from transferring oil trading in all its member countries to the euro. A gold dinar would have had serious consequences for the world financial system, but may also have empowered the people of Africa, something black activists say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
The United States should welcome the self-determination of Africans. They certainly have denied self-determination to Africans inside the United States, so we're not surprised by anything that the United States would do to hinder self-determination of Africans on the continent.
The UK's gold is kept here in a secure vault somewhere in the depths of the Bank of England. As in most developed countries, there's not enough to go around. But that's not the case in places like Libya and many of the Gulf states. A gold dinar would have given oil-rich African and Middle Eastern countries the power to turn around to their energy-hungry customers and say, sorry, the price has gone up and we want gold. Some say the US and its NATO allies literally couldn't afford to let that happen. Laura Emmett, RT.
Gentlemen, this is a maximum alert for all info warriors and people that love peace and liberty worldwide. Maximum alert. Alex Jones here, coming to you from my home. I knew this was big 2 days ago when they said they foiled the Iranian plot to blow up the Saudi embassy in D.C. and assassinate people, claiming that it was Mexican drug cartels. I knew that that was a cover for the Fast and Furious subpoenas that they knew were imminent the next day or yesterday. Since then, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer, who you better believe speaks for some of the better elements of the Pentagon and of the ruling elite of this country, he's reported in part of very important think tanks, heavily involved in trying to kill bin Laden, has blown the whistle on a lot of 9/11 stuff, the Super Congress. When he basically is unleashed to come out and say something, you know it's important. Paul Watson's article is up at Infowars.com. FBI insider, Obama administration, likely manufactured dubious terror plot. And Schaefer talked to a high-level FBI agent with clearances who knows that it's not in the system, that there was not a plot. Repeat, not a plot. Then, and again, people think I'm quick. I'm not really quick. A lot of this was hiding in plain view. I knew there'd be some false flag or build-up for war as the smokescreen for Obama's approval rating plunging, the Fast and Furious coming out, the Democrats calling for him not to run. And I said last week, if they don't start pulling a new war or false flag, Obama will be toast in 1 month. Then I discovered that a member of my family, who's an Army officer, is being sent to Kuwait and was very tight-lipped. And then I made some other calls and confirmed it's a green light attack. Israeli strike on Iran. Repeat, within 2 weeks. T-minus 2 weeks. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. But the main forces and logistics forces for a U.S.-backed strike of the Israelis is building up in Kuwait and surrounding areas right now. This is an absolute mega alert. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it could not be any more hardcore. Then my phone rings 10 times in a row until I jumped off the treadmill this morning and went over and got it. Dr. Steve Pachinik. And, he basically, we know he's establishment. He's run overthrows of major governments. And we know he represents an element of the Pentagon. And he said, the Pentagon knows there's going to be a strike. The bunker busters have been delivered to Israel. We don't want this. That's why Schaefer's gone public. And he basically put his cards on the table as if any of us needed him to. And just said, well, he's coming on later. We'll see what he says. The point is, he's been talking to a lot of people in current government intelligence and the Pentagon, and he said, it's on. The government, again, I would add, could stage terror attacks now and blame it on Iran. It is on. It is on. It is on. They could go with a new war, stage terror attacks, mass arrest, internet kill switches. They are testing the waters right now to completely drop the hammer on us. This is a mega red alert, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Mike Adams was going to be here today with like 4 guests on a host of key issues and doing the nightly news tonight. I was going to be back tomorrow live via Skype, spending some time with my family, and Aaron Dyke's doing the nightly news. But quite frankly, now I'm with a great technology, I can broadcast from anywhere. But this is a maximum alert. I know we're going to break here, but just briefly taking us to break, Mike Adams, what do you think of this information?
Well, Alex, what an extraordinary day in human history. As you mentioned, this issue is exploding. The drapes are off. The cover stories are exploding in their faces right now. It's very clear, Alex, that Fast and Furious is what probably led them to have the motivation to start to drum up these other plots, to distract people. It's that sleight of mind or sleight of hand tactic that they always use. And we're going to be covering that more here on The Alex Jones Show with Alex himself, with Paul Joseph Watson, and with Dr. Steve Pachinik when we return. So stay with us right here. We'll be right back after this break.